Welcome to another episode of UEN PDTV. I'm Dani, and today we're going to be doing a little UCET recap of the conference that we just had in March 2018. We're going to do a little intro of a few of the people who were there, and talk about our experience with the conference.
I'm Michael Hakkarainen. This year I served as the UCET past president and assisted Dani with putting on what was a fantastic conference. I got to present one day and just had a blast for 2 days working with Utah educators.
Hi, I'm Jared Covilli. This year on the conference committee, I was involved with organizing the Ignite sessions, which are kind of like mini TED Talks. So everyone got a chance to share something that they were passionate about, and it was a lot of fun to see all the different presenters and help them organize their presentations.
And I am Shannon, and I wasn't on the board at all. I was a presenter, and I was also an attendee of the UCET conference this year.
All right, my favorite part of conferences are always the keynotes. So we had two great keynotes this year. We had Moosh and we had John Couch.
I think my favorite part of Moosh's keynote was she did a question and answer, and some people got to ask some really good and practical questions. One thing that we've talked about a little bit on our professional development team is we talked about how do we unplug and how do we unwind, and especially like sometimes we teach 2-day courses, and she had mentioned unplugging and taking a 6-minute walk. I really enjoyed some of the practical things that she shared for how to unplug in the midst of being very connected. So I thought that was great.
I think that's a really good point because the conference is a technology conference, and more students and teachers are using technology in their classroom, and so we kind of neglect the side of the unplugging side and how important that is for our teachers and students to be unplugged.
But beyond that, just even giving the kids a chance to have a break in what's going on, even if it's not technology.
Yeah,
right?
brain break,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
We need to have a 6-minute period where we're going to do something else to kind of stimulate other parts of your brain.
Sure.
I thought our lunches this year did a great job of that. We had teachers that were outside eating together. I saw groups of people. I saw people talking in line, and they were talking face to face and making even eye contact. So it was pretty exciting to see. And there was a lot of positive response to that lunchtime to be able to collaborate with your colleagues. Teaching can be a lonely job. You spend all that time in a classroom by yourself, and now here you are thrown into a group of other teachers like you, waiting in line together for food.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
John Couch talked about empowering students and empowering educators by unlocking students' potential. Everyone really loved John. They thought he was great. He was really enthusiastic about empowering our students with technology. What did you guys think about his keynote?
Well, John was employee number 3 at Apple.
Which is pretty cool.
It was kind of his brainchild to have Apple become the company it did by putting computers in schools. And so to have kind of like, I don't want to say the grandfather, but like one of the innovators who really started the EdTech movement be here in Utah was exciting.
Yeah, one of the key points that I took away from his talk was he kept talking about using technology in kind of the SAMR model. And I think that's where a lot of our teachers are at right now at our conferences. They've been using it in ways to replace some of the things that they're doing, but I think now people are trying to find ways to reinvent what they're doing. And that's what I think a lot of teachers left his talk and went to the sessions and were really excited to see those ways they could change the way they do things.
I appreciated at one point he showed a big family picture with all of his maybe not his grandchildren, but nieces and nephews, and he kind of talked about like all of these children are individuals to me, and he kind of talked about using technology to reach individuals, and I really liked that. I think sometimes using technology can kind of gain a bad rap for like just being a blanket, like just babysit, just do this while I'm trying to do something else. And I like that he talked about the idea of using technology to reach individual students and individual needs and to really capitalize on the teacher's time in the classroom with their students. So I liked that message that he shared.
Jared, you mentioned you were in charge of the Ignite sessions. They were fabulous this year. Would you talk a little bit about Ignite, and you kind of had a special experience with the Ignite sessions this year?
So in case some of you didn't get a chance to go down and see the Ignite sessions, these are specific sessions where presenters get 5 minutes and 20 slides total to share on a topic of their choosing. And a lot of times we ask them to share about something that they're passionate about, whether it's something that they're learning about, it's a topic in education that they really enjoy, or just something from their own personal experience about being a teacher or being a student that gets them excited. It's been one of my highlights for the last 3 or 4 years running those sessions. The thing I like about it so much is it gives so many different topics and so many different ideas that are shared. I took the challenge this year to actually do an Ignite session, but because I'm a little shy in front of people, I asked my teenage daughter to be part of it. And so I actually got to present with my 7th grader. We shared a little talk on how kids view technology versus how they see their teachers using technology. And so it was a lot of fun. I mean, I have to be honest, it was a little nerve-wracking to get up there and have a very finite amount of time and slides, but also a great chance to share something that I think with my daughter that will be fun for us to look back on over time.
I just always love the Ignites because they're kind of mini keynote sessions, and they are topics that these educators, or in some cases students, are very, very passionate about. And they're so short, so they have this little amount of time to share their ideas. And I thought they were wonderful this year. We had some students from Park City School District that shared their ideas, and they were just wonderful. My favorite part was when a student came off stage and a mom just like rushed the stage to give her student a big hug because she was just so proud. So something that I've been really passionate about with UCET is getting our playground up and running. So we've been doing it, I think, for 3 years now. And the playground is a space where we can have, whether it be high-tech or low-tech, maker spaces or coding, robots. We had our friends from the Beverly Taylor Sorensen arts department, who are just next door in our office, do shrinky dinks, showing how you can use shrinky dinks in your classroom.
Can I show one here?
Be hands-on, please do.
So there you go, there's Bob Ross shrinky dink.
And there's also a 3D printed you.
3D printed you.
You are just like a
All
walking
things that happen
makerspace.
at the playground that you said this year.
And I love how many students were presenting in our playground this year, but there was just such a wide variety in our playground. So what were your favorites? Did you guys get a chance to go over and be in the playground and experience that?
I did. The playground is my favorite. I feel like it's really nice. It's really great to see these cool ideas, like whatever social media you're following. I always see these great ideas, and it's so fun to talk to educators who are actually doing it and figuring out how it works. Especially with kind of more hands-on things like maker spaces and robotics. Those are things that don't have a set way that they fit into schools. And so it's really great to see how different schools are handling those types of programs and what they're doing with it. So I love that for the face-to-face conversation I can have with different educators in the playgrounds.
Yeah, one of the things that I always like about the playground is, like you said, it's the wide variety of manipulatives that people are using. Because we think, oh, it's going to be a bunch of robots and things like that. And while those are there, there's old school things like the shrinky dinks and ways to use Legos and all these other things that's just as valuable to some teachers as learning how to code a robot.
What about the best sessions that you attended? Do you have any favorites? Learn anything new and exciting?
I went to, I just really love coding in the classroom, and so I went to a great session Carl Lyman did on microbits, which I don't even actually really know how to describe what it is. I mean, it's a tiny little codable robot, but it does all these really great things. And I think he did a great job of explaining how to do things. He also had a whole bunch of microbits for us to try out. And that's also great, not just playground, but in the sessions. A lot of the presenters do amazing things. And also to speak to the presenters, like it's so interesting, Carl Lyman is a retired educator, but so this is something he is passionate about and he's showing up and he's there. So I just think it was great to be in that session. There were great things and that I learned, and it's also, I mean, and a lot of that came from the fact that it was someone who's very passionate about what they're doing. Like he's not paid for it, it's just, I think this is amazing and let's all learn it so we can give our students these opportunities.
I was a really big fan of the over-the-shoulder presentations, which kind of like Ignite sessions are short, 15 to 20 minutes, and there's a screen behind the presenter and they just go over step by step certain tools. You can have your laptop in front of you and play along. And so there isn't that whole hour-long commitment to a tool or a new teaching strategy, but it was fun to just sit there and kind of like get filled up on those over the shoulders. Good job on those.
Awesome.
I was going to echo something that Shannon said. I noticed a lot of diversity in our sessions this year. Like we had retired people, but we also had legislators that had come, and we did a panel session on how to work with funding and different things like that. We had other vendors that did presentations where they went beyond just their products, but also talked about how, like the strategies that they're using to influence classrooms. Like we said, we've had students, teachers, college professors. I mean, we kind of ran the gamut this year of different styles of presentations and different topics.
That's awesome.
I agree. There was a real sense of community this year. Maybe it was the record-breaking attendance level of 1,700 plus teachers.
You had to have a
Close to
community
1,800,
there.
but
You're rubbing elbows.
it definitely wasn't a teachers conference. There were parents, children, students. It was nice to see that.
One other thing that we might want to mention is the Moosh, the massive open online scavenger hunt that was created by Katie Blunt and Justin Anderson from the Canyon School District, which was a game that they made for our participants to play in. What I liked about it is they used a website to design this game and gave participants a bunch of different ways to play, but all of the tools that they used were free tools for educators. So even though this was just a fun game for the 2 days in the conference, they did a great job modeling for teachers all of these different tools that you could use with your class to play a scavenger hunt type game, or I kind of thought it would be great for kind of a fast finisher activity or maybe a lesson extension website.
You mentioned it's a big endeavor, but it's getting bigger. I mean, we had record-setting attendance, like Michael mentioned a minute ago. That wouldn't have been possible without the support of everybody who's involved. From record number of presentation submissions, more vendors than we've ever had, and like I say, more participants, because they know that this conference provides them with what they're looking for in the classrooms.
Let's also make sure we thank the UCET board, which is 24 educators from all over Utah who volunteer their time for 2-year terms. And we have a lot of appointed members that do a ton of work, all on top of the ton of work that teachers already do.
Thanks for joining us. If you want to learn more about UCET or attend next year's conference, go to ucet.org. If you want to see this video or more, go to uen.org/PDTV. And if you'd like to sign up for a professional development class, go to uen.gosignmeup.com. Thanks.